Good morning, it's Sam Sadler. I am CEO of Lion Rose Holdings, property organisation and property brokerage. I've been asked and tasked and challenged to 28 videos in 28 days. This is the second video of the 28 and didn't realise how hard this was actually going to be. So again, I am getting 28 random questions asked from AI, which is based on the 28 I believe most frequently asked questions from investors and buyers that are constantly in the market. So with that being the case, I don't want to take too long. Just a quick comment on yesterday's video though, because I couldn't help it. Has anyone ever done one of these videos and then obviously after the video realised that there's an absolute enormous amount of stuff that they missed out and what they could have added in and how they could have said it and how they could have said it differently? I don't know whether it was just me, but it sent me insane all night. So if anyone can relate to that, please do comment and let me know that it wasn't just me going out my mind after that first post. Hopefully that'll get easier. So let's get to it anyway. Okay, so AI asking me second question of 28. Why use Lion Rose instead of going direct to a developer? For an investor, that's quite straightforward. Any investor would more than likely be able to answer that because of analysis. Really, you're going to want to analyze more than just one entry point in any given city or any given town, or even if that's a commuter belt or a holiday destination. You're going to want to have comparables. You absolutely are going to need that in order to make a better informed decision. Slightly easier in smaller towns as you've not really got that many options anyway, so you can ultimately probably do that yourself. But what we find, if you're a busy professional, which a lot of our investor profiles match, you've got kids, you've got a family, what you're best off doing is having someone just collect all the facts, collect all the figures, arrange all the viewings, make sure all of the different developers are liaised with correctly. So then what you can then do is be presented and with all of the facts and figures of where you're looking to invest, exactly what the square footage cost is, exactly what different developers are offering, at what different prices. You also understand the comparables in amenities. For the likes of Manchester, the amenities that are being offered in these developments now are like 5-star hotels, 6-star hotels. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. So you're going to want to see all of these different things because this isn't usually it's not a short-term thing because ultimately you're looking at a 5 to 10 year plan. So you're going to want a much better analysis before you make a reservation on anything at all. And because we're paid by the sellers and obviously the developers, it's free. So you got to ask yourself as an investor, why wouldn't you use that service? On the flip side of that, there's also the buy to live market. Why should if I'm looking to live somewhere in the Manchester city centre, let's say, why would I come to Lion Rose and use Lion Rose? Well, if you're a busy professional, again, I'll mention I've got a family myself. I know how massively crazy things can get, and you're obviously potentially moving as well. It can get quite difficult. So to be able to liaise with each developer, to be able to liaise and make sure there's viewings with each developer, to make sure that you've got a decent itinerary for a decent day that's good for you, to be able to see multiple options, bearing in mind the difference in amenities these days, you're going to want comparables. So all we do in that respect is just make sure that you're completely informed. It's got to the point where, like I said, you can ask yourself now, why not? You may as well use a brokerage like Lion Rose, because you'll get all the facts and figures. The more facts and figures you've got, the better your decision-making process is, the more informed you are. And then obviously the aftercare. It's already on 3 minutes. See, I'm going to get shouted at again, but I've got to talk about the aftercare because it's important. You've got to have aftercare in the way of management of the unit if it's an investment. So you're going to want to make sure that you're squeezing the highest amount of yield out of it. You're also going to want tax advice. You're also going to want succession planning. You're also going to make sure that your portfolio is completely molded in the way that you want it for all of your future. And if you're retiring at any point, you're going to want to gear it towards that point, and you're going to want to have as many eyes on the future as you possibly can. So all Lion Rose does is just supplies them eyes. We give you that glimpse into the future by providing you with everything that we have, which is market insight, constant updates, letting you know where your next entry point might be looking, where the best regeneration areas are, and we just make sure that you should stay informed. And information is key. As they say, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to returns. So on that note, it's a long video, right? Second video done. All right. Thank you. Lion Rose, live well, invest better.